Hi guys, today we're going to take the quiz and I just wanted to offer you another way because normally if we were in the classroom, you'd have a little extra help like I would read it out loud or another teacher would read it out loud and you'd get a little bit of extra direction in taking it. So I'm going to read the quiz out loud, the questions that are on it, and I want you to just do your best to follow along. This is really great so you can hear it, you can hear me review, give you some hints, and then I would suggest that after you hear a question and I read it, maybe stop the video and mark what you think the answer is. You can always go back. You can stop the video. You can go forward if you need to. But this is just a way to hear all the questions read to you, okay? So let's scroll down and let's first type, it says write, oh my gosh. Type your first and last name and class period. So go ahead and do that right now on your quiz. Okay, so next we are going to read each question, and I'm going to read each answer, and I want you to mark what you think is the best answer. Again, if you're struggling a little bit, stop, listen to that question again, stop my video, try to answer the question, and then restart the video or restart wherever you were. Okay, here we go. Question 1. What is the method we use to do science? This is what we use when we do labs. Is it the scientific method, the Socratic method, or the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious method? I like that one. That's not the answer. Hint, hint. So please click on your answer. Next question. What is the part of the lab called where we make a guess or prediction about what we think is going to happen in the lab? So a guess or prediction. Do we think it is the procedure, the hypothesis, or the conclusion? Click on an answer now. Okay, scroll down. Next question. What should we expect to see in the evidence or data section of a lab? So think about if we share data or evidence of what we did in the lab, what are we going to have? So think about the bubble gum lab. How did we show what those fake gum chewing kids did and what they got? Okay. Did they have a graph chart or table of our results? Is it a list of materials? Or is it a guess about the lab? Which one is considered evidence or data? Pick your answer. Okay, the next question. What is the final part of the scientific method called? Okay, the last part. Is it called the procedure, the evidence, the data, or the conclusion? That one should be pretty easy. Okay, next question. What part of the scientific method describes why we are doing a lab? So like the point, the reason we're doing the lab, it's going to tell you here's why we're doing it. Is it the purpose, the procedure, or the evidence and data? Next question. What part of the scientific method has a list of materials? So like we're going to use a beaker and a pipette and this and this and this, as well as steps of how to complete or do the lab. So steps of the lab like 1, do this, 2, do this. Is that going to be the procedure, evidence, or conclusion? Next question, what's the correct way to write a hypothesis? So if you remember, we spent some time practicing and doing in our labs that there's a specific way, there's 2 specific words, hint, hint, that you have to use when you make a hypothesis. So which one sounds like it's a correct hypothesis? I think eating more vegetables will make me lose weight. If I eat more vegetables, I will surely lose the most weight. Or if I eat more vegetables, then I will lose more weight. Okay, next question. What is the independent variable in a lab? Here's a hint. Think of what letter independent starts with. I, me, right? What I, the experimenter, is doing. Okay, what I have control over. So is the independent variable what I change or control? The data or what I'm trying to determine, like the results? Or is it what I keep the same? The independent variable. Mark your answer. Okay, in this next one, I'm going to read you like a little story problem. We're going to imagine the lab in our head, and then you're going to pick the answer. Here we go. So you think that the amount of sleep you're going to get will impact how many questions you get right on a multiplication math test the next day. So I always stop and I think about that. I say, okay, I think that if I get a little sleep, it'll help me do well on a math test. So I would probably guess myself that getting more sleep would help me do better. So you have to test that, right? So on night 1, it says you get 2 hours of sleep, and then the next day you take the test. Night 2, you get 4 hours of sleep and then take the test. And night 3, you get 8 hours, of sleep, excuse me, and then you take the test. Okay, so each night you're changing the amount of sleep. Each time you take the same test, so the next morning you take the same math test, what is the independent variable in this experiment? And if you remember, a hint is the independent variable means I change, I control. So, is the independent variable the different amount of sleep I get each night, the same math test that I take, or the amount that I get correct on the test? Look again what the definition of an independent variable is. Okay, next question. Same problem. We're going to think that we're going to try sleeping for 2 hours and then 4 hours and then 8 hours. And we're going to see after each of those times how we do on a multiplication test. Okay, but now it's saying each time you take the same test, what is the constant? What stays the same each time? So is it the different amount of sleep, the fact that I'm taking the same math test each time, or the amount that I get correct on the test? What is the constant? Okay, and the very last question, same thing, but a little bit different of a question. We're going to now think back to the gizmo we did on the plant lab. Remember when we grew different plants on the fake gizmo lab? So it says, I give 3 tomato plants different amounts of water to see which one will grow the most, just like we did in the online gizmo. What is the dependent variable? And if you remember, that's the variable that means the data I'm collecting or what I'm trying to determine. So what's the dependent variable? Is it the same amount of water, how tall the plants will grow, or I'll use the same type of tomato seeds? Which one is the dependent variable? Look again at the definition. Okay, if you need to go back to do any of these, go back to my video, listen to the question again. Remember, I'm on Zoom and on GoGuardian. So if you have a question about one of these and you're a little confused, definitely jump on and ask me. Okay, when you're done, submit it, get your scores, and good luck, everybody. Have a great day.